Today we're going to be talking about Myprotein's Clear Whey Isolate. How do the nutritional values stack up? Practically, how does it mix and taste? And is it worth the price tag? Just a bit of context, I've been on the shakes for like 10 years now, and I've tried pretty much every brand and every flavour in existence. I studied sport and health sciences for 4 years, and I got my master's degree in the subject, with my project being on supplementation. So basically, I love this stuff, and I might as well help you make a decision when it comes to buying some protein powder, because I know it can be pretty overwhelming with all of the different supplements and the different options out there. So we're going to get right into this particular protein powder in a second, but I also want to answer the questions around why you might use protein powder and the benefits, which is super important to know. I could spend a long time on this, but I'm going to keep this nice and brief and to the point. First and foremost, it's a high quality protein. And what we know about protein is it promotes muscle growth through protein synthesis. And it's also muscle sparing as we age. And as we age, we typically lose muscle mass. So having a high protein diet can help with this. Now, whey protein in particular has a lot of great amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. And it's been suggested it's a slightly superior protein source compared to others out there like soy protein and casein protein. However, unless your diet is lacking protein, supplements like this probably won't make a significant difference. So just treat it like food, but it might have some other benefits that we'll talk about now. First of all, protein is highly filling, which might also help with weight loss through appetite suppression. But if you're going to continue to eat the exact same and move the exact same, chucking in some protein shakes to try and lose weight, on top of all this, will just increase your calorie intake, which isn't going to help with weight loss. So you have to think about it in conjunction with everything else and the bigger picture. Obviously, you don't have to cook anything. It's super quick. There's no washing up. You literally just mix it up and away we go. Now onto this particular protein powder, and let's start things off with the most important thing, the biggest thing that you need to know about is obviously the nutritional values. I know you can read the label, but just to give you some idea of how it compares to other protein powders and sources so you can make a really good informed decision. Now, the ingredients is part of what makes this such a good protein shake from a nutritional point of view. It's well isolated, meaning you aren't getting much else other than the protein. So the sugar and the fat content is super low, lower than most other protein shakes out there on the market. And as a result, the protein content is quite high for the amount of calories that is within it. And there's no suspicious fillers or concerning ingredients. It's got some flavorings in there, it's got some colorings, and it's got some anti-foaming agent, which is pretty interesting. And you'll see why that's needed in a minute when I mix this bad boy up. Ultimately, you're gonna get around 20 Gs of really nice, silky smooth protein within only 84 calories. And keep that in mind, because that's also going to be super important when we start talking about whether this is worth it or not and the price tag. It's also different when it comes to mixing. And I'll show you what I mean right now. We'll finish that off in a second. So it mixes really well. It's just a bit weird. With it being a really fine powder, it only takes a few shakes and it's completely done and it's all mixed up. But you have to leave it to settle because it kind of bubbles up and froths up quite a lot, almost feeling like the shaker is pressurized. But as soon as this settles in around 15 seconds or so, it's just like a juice. Definitely no clumps or lumpy bits inside, which can happen with other protein powders. Now, is this worth it over everything else out there? Per serving, it's more expensive than Myprotein's other offerings, and it's more expensive than some other standard whey proteins out there. But you're paying for the fact that it's maybe a few calories less, but the same amount of protein than other shakes, and it's also a refreshing blend that isn't milky, mixes well, and tastes pretty great. And you also get to choose from a variety of different flavors, so many different flavors, and some of them are super cool. The one I've got here is the jelly bean edition one, and it's the very cherry flavor. But I've tried mango, I've tried an orange one, I've tried a lime one. I think there's loads of different ones out there, and they're all super nice and refreshing. So you have loads of different choices when it comes to that. And I know it's subjective, but for me personally, I think they taste pretty awesome. So it's literally been around 20 seconds or so, and it's pretty much settled. It's still got a little bit of settling left, but you can see it pretty much just looks like a juice, and it's almost like transparent as well. So you can see that there's no bits floating around in there. It is literally just like a juice. Bon appetit. If this video gets enough likes, I'm going to do another video comparing it to Myprotein's Impact Whey, which is a cheaper option and is more of an industry standard that people always kind of tend to use as a go-to protein source. So if you want to see that, then subscribe to the channel completely for free and you'll get notified about it. And I think that will be a really good matchup. But my last thoughts on this is, if you're not a fan of milkshakes or anything close to that, it might be worth paying a little bit more and trying this out. Also, if things are a bit tight calorie-wise, it might be worth paying more for this if you're trying to lose weight. And if you like juices and the sound of the flavors, that's another fair reason to choose this one. If you're on a budget and obviously the cost of living crisis is going on, I do think there's better options out there, which we'll get into in another video. If you want to try this particular protein powder, I will put an affiliate link in the description below, and I'll also put a link to any of the other sort of protein powders and supplements I use in the description below. But if you have a favorite protein powder, then let me know in the comments and I'd be interested to hear what it is and maybe try it out. Again, if you want to see more content like this, then please hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. It's obviously completely free, but until next time, have a really good one and I'll see you then.